So a lot of people have been asking about this shaved chit issue, right? So I think pretty much I'm gonna go on what I'm gonna say. I never met a black person that doesn't have sensitive skin. I mean, there's probably some out there, but the majority do. And so throughout my military career, I've always had these crazy bumps, right? Um, Now, me personally, I never went and got a shave chip because I wanted to apply for some special jobs where you weren't allowed to have one. In the Coast Guard, if you want to be CGIS, Coast Guard Investigative Services, you're not allowed to have a shave chip. So I kind of held out. But throughout the years, when I was at boot camp, remember my neck was so bad that they basically told me, they gave me like this bump control. I had to do this 24/7 foot bump control, right? You can see my neck's not too bad. But the way I kind of, basically eventually I ended up giving in and trying to go get a shaved chip. And I think one of the things that goes wrong, a lot of black people, is they're shaving using things that aren't made for them. Like if you're using like a Gillette razor, or ones with like the 3 blades, triple blades, all that stuff. I was using that stuff. It's not meant for us. So finally, I had a doctor. They're like, all right, here, try a few things, see if this works. And if it doesn't work, then you can get your shave chip. Well, lo and behold, the one that they gave me the first time ended up working. So of course, you got to get scalding hot water. And instead of a multi blade shaver, you need to get one of the old school ones like our pops used to use. So I got this one here. Got it off Amazon, Japanese stainless steel. It's made by Shaving Revolution. This thing, it works amazing. You got this little thing right here. You just twist it and it closes. So give me a second, I'm gonna close it. Now I will say these things are, I mean, they are sharp. So when you like first start doing, you gotta be careful, bro. You can't just go like to town. You gotta find that angle and get it there. But I get scalding hot water, throw it on there, then shaving cream, lather, and then, you know, this stuff works like a charm. And since then, I really haven't had any bumps as much as you can see. So that's basically what I've done. And then I put some good skincare on my face, like lotion. Once I'm done, I got some aftershave balm, stuff like that. That's when I keep up with it. Me personally, I shave every other day. And I'm able to basically get away with that because I don't grow pretty quick. For other people, you may have to shave every day. Now, when I'm on leave, and I go off of leave, I'll show y'all real quick, one second. Now, when I'm coming off leave, this is, you know, I basically use one of these bad boys. This is when you actually have to like not shave, but it's called trim. So this one I use this wall right here. This one's obviously I haven't used it because it's rusted. But I also got changed the blade on the Manscaped sometimes. I mean, clean it, make sure I use that. That one works pretty good. But just any kind of basically trimmer you want to do. And so when a lot of people don't listen to key details in a word. They're saying like it's a shave chip, which means you can't shave. But when you have a shave chip that says you don't have to shave, a lot of people abuse it and they get it all wrong. So that doesn't mean you're not shaving anymore. This right here, but you should be trimming. And under the guidelines and policy, your beard is not supposed to be thicker than a 1/4 inch. I remember back in my day, going in the Coast Guard, and even to this day, I know some people that'll do it. I personally don't have anybody working for me right now, but if I did, I would do it. I would get that. We had a little small ruler, a measuring tape, and I will go up to your face and be like, hey, I'm gonna double check and make sure. And then if it was, I'll tell you, you need to go trim keyword trim, not shave. Can't tell people to shave. So now we have this no shave chit. The way that if they're not gonna let you like do anything at all, you know, then you're gonna have to trim first. I would trim first. Make sure you know get your skin nice and hot, wet, soft. So you're gonna have when you trim, you gotta do that dry first. You gotta trim dry, get it down to where it's gonna kind of look like this, how I am right now. Then you're going to get some hot water face, and then you're going to use this here. And this is a single blade. This thing works amazing. And I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, that's what I would use. But as far as my thoughts on it, I mean, who knows what their intents really are. But I mean, I'm black and I'm in the Coast Guard. I mean, I've been a 1% my whole entire career. I won't let anything stop me. And so no matter what policies they try to come up with, we're just going to keep it moving. We'll just adapt and adjust. That's what we do. That's my take on it. That's how I'd recommend people do it, but to each their own. As far as like people being overweight, well, so in the military, a lot of times the reason why there's a lot of like, I guess, overweight people in the military is because if you are overweight, as far as like it's correction, if you look overweight, but you can pass the PT test, then you're good as long as you can meet the weight standards. But there are exceptions. If you don't meet the weight standards, then you get taped. And as long as you meet the minimal or the max, as long as your body fat percentage is below what's expected, then you're good to go. You know, I've known people, their whole entire career has been over the weight limit and they get taped. Some people's bodies can look a little bit more puffier than others and still be within the guidelines. So if that's the case, then they're going to have to change the guidelines. But yeah, it's interesting time to be in the military, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, for me, I care less. They came up with the mandatory PT test. Cool. I already did it. I passed it, no problem. I'm one of those people that even though the Coast Guard has never mandated it, I always kept myself in shape for the most part. Of course, there's times where I slacked off in Milwaukee eating beer and cheese. But besides that, you know, I always try to do some kind of workout or some physical activity because that's important just for your life and your health, despite the military. Be an example for your kids. And also I was part of boarding team members, so we had a more rigorous PT standard that we had to meet in order to be qualified in board boats, which was really fun. So I made sure I did that. But yeah, that's my take on it. You know, I know a lot of people are going to be in shock because all these different things, but in the military, our whole life revolves around adapting and overcoming, and that's what we're going to keep on doing. So that's my thought on it.